Welcome back to Tabletop Nerdcast. I'm Mike, and I'm going to be your GM this evening for Age of Rebellion, Galactic Youth. And last time on Galactic Youth,
for a good time, call Lieutenant Harsgrave.
You sly, Jack. You sly.
Glad I could make your day.
as Jack is escorted down and out of the cell door closes behind him. And you hear this bumping and prodding as he's moved down the catwalk, and you keep hearing this guard let out this little, knock it off, just keep walking, and it gets quieter and quieter as he's pushed down the hallway. A couple hours pass.
Snap.
And Jack is brought back into the cell.
Your meeting was 10 minutes.
I know.
Did you think it was going to go well for Jack?
No!
No, but I didn't know how poorly.
A couple hours pass, and the cell door opens back up. And you see Jack's limp body being supported by two soldiers, or two officers, as they open the door. He's not even in binder cuffs at this point. They open the door and just toss him in.
I'll try to catch him.
And immediately close the door behind
It's
him.
lunch.
I'm going to try to catch him before he hits the ground.
I'll say that's fair, that's fine. I'm not going to make you roll for
Jack! You fool! Jack, what you do?
He cannot hear you right now.
Well, kind of fun.
I have a feeling that he spoke so much that they beat it out of him.
He don't know when to keep his mouth shut.
No, he does not.
Hey, Jack. Jack. Talk to me, Jack. Jack, wake up. I'll put him in the bed.
it. Short time later, after you pick him up, put him in the bed, you guys are all kind of chit-chatting back and forth, going, what could he have done? What, I saw some of it, but what could he have done?
We weren't beat.
Not yet.
Not yet.
That was pretty obstinate. That means he was a dick.
We've seen what he's capable of.
So Jack, you hear him kind of, and you hear him come to, and he looks over at you guys. Oh, they brought me home.
Welcome back.
Yeah. We were worried about you.
And you can see that same beaming smile start to form on his face that he had the first time you guys met him.
So what did you get this time?
What did you do?
Well, all I did was tell this lieutenant where he could stick his, and camera kind of fades at that point. We'll just not go into the details of what he said. Let's just say it's bad. It's all bad.
Very vocal.
His prison wallet?
Speaking of prison wallets, yeah.
What happened here?
So at some point in time, Jack goes, but you know what? It was worth it.
Why is that?
This time, he kind of reaches down in kind of his waistline and pulls up this little piece of metal. Looks like a modern day kind of binder clip. The kind that would have the little black portion to it, and then the two silver leaflets that you would put a large bundle of papers together with. It says all kinds of fun things that maybe we can figure out what to do with this one.
Let me see that.
And he hands it over to you. He goes, all right, you keep that one. Who got my card? I'm hoping you guys saw what I did.
Got it right here. Slide it over back to him.
No, I don't want it. I done pissed these people off.
Ah. Well, just keep it
I
here.
think we have all done this.
No. I've really made them angry.
What did you do?
I made his day.
I walked in there, and he started talking about, you better not ask me for tea. So the first thing I had to do was ask for tea. I don't know what you told him.
Did you get tea?
Not that I remember.
Oh, man. I'm beginning to think they may not have tea here.
Although that guard's going to walk with a limp for a while.
Oh, that's not good.
Because when he put me in those binder clips, I just reared back with my head, and man, where would I hit? It felt so good to make him fall over.
You're crazy, child. You're crazy.
How many eggs do you think you can eat?
What kind of question is that?
Cool Hand Luke.
Oh.
Y'all don't remember the reference? He's definitely Cool Hand Luke.
So this goes on, and there's some banter and some laughing, and now the jokes are starting to commence, right? You know, you guys are all laughing at his expense now at this point in time. And later that evening, over the loudspeaker in your cell, you hear it spark to life, and you hear this. Inmates of cell block C-256, this concludes your in-processing period. From this point going forward, any disobedience will be met with harsh punishments. You will now be granted 20 minutes of time to proceed to the northern portion of the cell block, where you will see a cafeteria. You'll sit there quietly, and you'll eat. This is your one daily ration. So do not do anything to compromise your time or your meal. After all, you will need your strength. And as you're hearing this, you're starting to hear Lieutenant Hargray's voice. I'm starting to recognize that that's the voice. Cell by cell will be automatically opened, and you'll proceed down the catwalk to the north side of this facility. I'd like each of you to take a look across out your cell doors today. Look directly into the center of this, and what you guys see when you look across is there is now a stormtrooper on every row and every tier facing almost 360 degrees. These troopers will not hesitate to fire if you get unruly. Simply take your time, grab your meal, eat, and return to your cell. Our security officers that are stationed at the north side in the cafeteria will ensure that you return to your cell and that you will only receive 20 minutes. And again, we hope you enjoy your stay with us. And the speaker cuts off. Your door doesn't open. You guys are sitting there for quite some time and the door doesn't open.
Who did you people talk to?
Hey, God!
I did not recognize.
But yet, you haven't seen anybody walk by your cell door either.
Hey, God! Is there a problem?
Shh, there will be if you keep going. They're not going to feed us today.
They're probably mad at us.
1 meal a
They'll be
day.
mad at him.
Come on, I'm getting stuff.
Did you get us food?
Not
We
yet.
can't eat this paperclip.
About an hour goes by. About an hour happens, and you hear a slight hum at your door, similar to when you're being locked down onto one of these chairs or one of the interrogations. You hear the madlocks just go, and the door slides open. And on your intercom, you hear that lieutenant's voice. You have 20 minutes.
Ah,
Perfect.
Emma, very good. Thank you.
I went cautiously toward the cafeteria
I
in
will
the
get
direction
to
that he directed.
All right. So as you guys are walking down towards the cafeteria,
it. Do we see anybody else?
you see what looks like the next two cells over. Their doors are open as well. Beyond that, the doors are closed.
What kind of people are in that cell?
There's nobody in the cell as you're walking by. You do see people further down the catwalk. And some that are at the very edge, right near where that opening would open up. As you get down towards the edge, this cafeteria, it just looks like a couple of steel picnic tables and benches. There's only about 3 or 4 of them, and each one holds about 4 people. Maybe 5 if people squeeze together. You see a few people that are different aliens, different species, different, types of creatures that are all standing in a line on the left-hand side from where you're at, and they're being handed a single meal, a single ration, and a bowl of water. And a security guard that's standing at the end of that line is pointing back over towards the tables. And one by one, each of them goes to the closest table and begins to sit down. and start their meals. There's a few aliens that are already sitting down and eating, but there's a lone figure that is sitting by himself, and it's the only human in the crowd as you guys are going through.
Oh,
Jack's standing with you.
Okay, so he's the other human in the crowd.
Well, there's one lone human that's sitting.
Okay, I see what you... Okay.
Yeah.
Not the lone human in the room.
Right.
Okay.
And Jack's looking around. He looks back at you guys and goes, I wonder what his story is.
Let's go find out. Looks like he has a room to sit down.
Well,
I bet if we squeeze together, we can get 5 people at that
Yeah,
table.
we're only teenagers. We're not that big.
well, I mean, the rest of us are all in cells together, and it looks like these, people are sitting down or aliens are sitting down at the same table as the groups that they're in. Why is he by himself?
Must be a big daddy. Perhaps he keeps attacking guards.
From behind you hear one of the guards. He kind of chimes in. Stop talking. Go sit.
Okay. So we'll go grab our gruel. What do we got? I mean, we got...
Well, for those of you that have
steaks?
ever seen any of the movies, the Star Wars rations are legitimately just dehydrated food that you stick into your bowl and it puffs up and you eat your meal.
Okay.
So, I'm not going to describe what it is, but a tentacle pops out.
Ooh, hey!
I love that.
It's just like Mama used to make.
Live and swimming.
Yeah.
That's my girlfriend! No.
Hey, man, do you mind if we sit here?
Human, older man, looks up, and you can see he's graying, and he looks up, real chiseled face. And he just kind of has this look on his face like, why in the hell are you talking to me? It's just that, really, kind of look.
And you look a little lonely. Maybe you'd like some friends, some company.
And you just hear this, he just lets out this sigh, and it's just like, really?
Yeah, that means gas.
Kids? What in Christ's sake are the Impies putting kids in a place like this for?
That's a good question.
I mean, after all, do they not know that the inmates here will try and take advantage of you?
Whoa. I look to the guards to see if they're reacting to us talking.
Not at all.
Okay, good. I sit down.
I simply mean that your inability to defend yourself against grown beings.
Grown beings.
You do not seem very friendly. Perhaps this is why you sit alone.
Well, I tossed the last few out of my cell.
Why?
They were going to get me in trouble.
Oh. Jack, go somewhere else.
Jack kind of laughs, and this man looks over at this young... Well, what are you doing to get them in trouble here, son? And Jack kind of looks over at you guys like, almost questioningly, like, should I tell him?
He is aggressive toward the guards.
Really? And he just lets this slap go kind of across the back of Jack's shoulder. Goes, huh, I kind of like this one then. And at that, the guards kind of look over and go, eat your meal, quiet. And you see him just kind of, not necessarily really lower his head, but just kind of lower his gaze to you guys and looking back and forth.
Have you been here for long?
You look
I
like
lost
it.
track.
What can you tell us about how to succeed as far as success goes?
Well, you know that lieutenant guy that's running around here?
No.
Oh, you haven't met the lieutenant.
No,
No,
Mr.
I
Hart.
was intaken by a man named Tremaine.
I don't think I've ever seen a prisoner around here that didn't go through in processing first before they let him have his first meal.
I was processed by a man named Tremaine.
Well, I don't know who that is.
It's not the lieutenant, that's all I know. He's a man who wears a leather patch across his eyes.
Is that cat that I walked by the first day I was here?
Probably.
Downstairs, white shirt, long black cape behind him,
Yes, this is him.
obnoxious dude,
Very.
had a little young guy next to him with the thingy tapping on it?
Yes, I'm sure that is his eyes. His boy with eyes.
What?
He's got to have eyes, right? You can't write things down if you don't have eyes.
Yeah.
You can't read letters.
Well,
Well-
there's other ways.
I haven't seen him since day one. Why are you talking to him?
I don't know.
No, I'm curious. I think you need to tell me why you're talking to him.
We want to know that, too.
He's talking to me. It's less of me talking to him.
He worked for the government.
Well, my parents worked for the government.
And you can kind of see his face just kind of change. Really?
Yeah.
You got connections?
Researchers.
Oh, so nobody's.
Sure.
They had a car.
Used to.
You seem to be the talkative one of the group.
I say a few words, yeah. But I just like to be friendly.
So this little red-headed one over here, why didn't he say nothing?
Because they beat
We've
the crap
asked him
out of him.
politely not to because he's been beaten really badly.
Yeah, when he talks, he tends to get the end of a stun baton.
And he's kind of letting out a chuckle, and he's trying to be as quiet as possible. Tell you what. My name's Shill.
Shill?
Thross Shill.
Thross Shill?
Why does the Empire decided to label all of you as enemies of the almighty Galactic Empire?
Well, there was a lot of people that toppled over a statue of the Emperor, and we were there.
Apparently he's
Did
dead.
you do it?
I did not.
I didn't.
Where's the adventure?
It was
This
just fun.
boy had all of it.
It was fun. It was a party. It was supposed to be a party. It went
I
wrong.
wasn't even at the party. I was
But
eating at
thanks.
the cafe.
And you can see he keeps eyeing back and forth at Jack. He's the smallest one of the group. And he keeps eyeing Jack. And Jack
So what are you in for?
Well, let's just say the Empire believes me to be a privateer and a pirate.
Are you?
Well, I believe we're all pirates.
Yeah.
We all want to make money one way or another. And with this Empire cracking down on everybody, sometimes, things have to be done that are a little under the table.
That is true.
So you're a man with connections.
Well, of course I am. Not so many nowadays.
So you ever think about getting out of this hotel?
Oh yeah, my clan's working on it now.
Clan. I see.
So, go ahead and roll me perception checks.
How hard?
Easies.
Easy. Ooh.
2 success and a threat.
Sure.
Oh, I beat you. 3 success and 2 threat.
Ooh.
Well, so I got 2 failures, a blank, and
Dewey is oblivious.
And I got
He's
this.
like trying to cram food in around the shock collar over his mouth.
it's really hard.
Got 2
Give him a
failures, a
straw.
blank, and this old penny.
And all I need is a thermos.
For those of you that passed, on both sides of his neck, right at the top of his collar line, you see what looks like the top of a chess piece, and it looks like a rook.
Like the crenellated.
It's like coming up out of his shirt where you'd see the top of it, where you would see the top of a chess piece of a rook.
Now, what do rooks look like in Star Wars chess?
Well, they
Totally
would,
kidding.
they would look like this big, ugly green monster that runs around and goes, yeah.
Perfect. So he looks like that.
No. That's a completely different game. So, with that, he kind of looks back and goes, well, guess I ain't going nowhere soon.
20 minutes, well, less than that. Now you have to go back to your place.
Well, let's just say I didn't agree with the way that my planet's government was going and the neutrality that they were trying to push. Some of us are a little bit more combatant than others, and he slaps old Jack on the back, young Jack on the back again. He goes, so I get where this young man's coming from.
And what planet were you from?
The only planet that matters.
Oh, Coruscant.
Mandalore.
I see.
I've heard stories about Mandalore.
I have
You a
not.
Mandalorian?
I'm one of the last few that's left that actually believes in Mandalore. The rest of them are sellouts.
You were supposed to be some badass fighter.
Supposed to be. And still take down everyone that's around here. Why do you think I got my own cell?
Do it.
Oh.
All in good time, young man.
Well, Jack could use your help.
That's it. Perhaps between the two of you, they would be so distracted we could leave.
That's it. Interesting. Because, little Jack there, you say? He's about the right size to... Well, I'll tell you what. Come here, guys. Kind of leans in a little bit closer. What do you see, kids say that we get out of here sometime soon?
That sounds great.
But does that mean I don't get any more soirees with Lieutenant Hargrove?
Oh, if you want to soiree with Lieutenant Hargrove, I'm sure we can arrange that.
It was so much fun.
Was it? Really? Was it?
It was great. He said I made his day.
Has he strapped you into the interrogation chair yet? Have you got any of these yet? And he pulls open his shirt, and you just see scars
Plus a
all
whole
up and
row.
down his chest.
Ew, no, man. I don't want none of those. What?
Oh, you guys haven't become his playthings yet.
No, but I think that's his plan.
And it's about a few seconds later, guard walks up behind him and says, "Doesn't touch him. You notice that the guard does not touch this man. Prisoner 0592, it's time for you to return to your cell. Do not make me call the troopers." And he looks up at this guard, cuts him a sideways glance, and goes, "Oh, I was just talking to my new friends here, but I'll be taking my dinner with me." And he turns and walks down the catwalk with his tray in his hand.
Oh.
Now you're sitting at this table alone.
If I'm finished, can I leave?
Oh, by all means.
Yeah, so I finish my food and leave.
So you finish, head down.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm going to stay until they...
The time elapses, and eventually the guard kind of pushes you all. He does physically walk up, and he kind of knocks your tray out from inside of you and pushes you towards the catwalk. Get moving.
He should have made you clean it up.
Ah.
Boom, you made a mess.
Whose side are you on, anyway? You Mr. Government employee.
Hey, relax.
The night falls, and it's just late in the evening. The lights of the prison area just completely dim down, and you hear over your intercom, "This is lights out. We'll wake you in the morning." And that's all that's said. Jack, about maybe 30 minutes into the lights out, reaches over and goes, guys,
Yeah.
okay, that was kind of interesting, but I still got this card. You got the card, right?
Yeah, right here.
Did you try and unlock yourself yet?
No.
You were holding on to it. That's what you were gonna do.
You told us to wait until nighttime.
Oh crap, that's right. Okay, all right. Well, it's nighttime.
All right.
Well,
How
it's
do we
lights
know?
out. We don't
It's
actually
dark.
know.
We don't know.
Here, give me the card.
Hands in the guard.
So Jack runs around behind you, and he starts rubbing this card like he doesn't know, like almost like he doesn't know what he's doing. He starts rubbing this card all over different places. Maybe you unlock it this way.
Can I do a mechanics check? to
Sure
see if I
can.
can figure this out.
Yes.
How hard is it?
We will do an average check.
Oh wait, that's a triumph. I'll keep that one.
You're having some troubles.
Relax, Rick.
I had a success. That's
Okay.
it.
Just a success.
One success.
All right. So with that, you kind of notice that there's not really anywhere for this card to really go. The only place that it would make sense is if it unlocked from like a magnetic lock, and you would have to put it directly over the mechanism where it was clasped together on the back of his neck.
Okay. But it's not going to work on this.
You don't know.
Oh,
No.
I'll try.
There's just nowhere to insert.
There's nowhere to insert the card.
Okay.
All right. So, is that what you would like to do? Just try it? Because Jack's still kind of fumbling around with this thing.
Yeah, I figured I took the card away from him.
I'm trying to get...
Hey, man, calm yourself, man. Calm yourself. I'm good with this. Let me look.
I'm trying.
And so I'll try to, maybe. And I try to insert it, or rub it, across the little
The
binder
magnetic
strip.
lock.
Yeah.
And as you do so, nothing seems to happen here. So, you kind of look back at this card a little bit more now that you guys are getting a chance to take a look at it. And it just says security access C265.
This is for a door?
I'm thinking,
This is the door to our cell.
yeah.
We
Now,
are.
I'm going to really look at,
C265.
I'm going to really study the collar too, to see if I think, what I think it's going to take to unlock this.
I would like a hard mechanics check for this one.
I figured, and I'm gonna upgrade that.
You're going to upgrade it?
Yeah.
All right.
A success
Ah,
with 2 threat.
Wow. Okay. So,
Was that upgrade blank?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
you're fiddling around with
In
this
fact,
thing,
if I
right?
hadn't upgraded it,
You're fiddling around with this thing, and you're kind of trying to move it and manipulate it, and kind of just squeeze it a little bit so you can look down into the mechanism. And as you do, a light on the collar turns red. Both of you. The shock collar goes off while you've got your hands on it.
God! Are you just taking off
2
already?
strain for both of you.
and is this what the threat? Is this what I
Yes.
triggered with the threat?
Yes. But I can't give it to you without giving it to him.
That's what she said.
Well, I was successful in trying to figure out how to open it. So what is it going to take to open it?
So many fingers.
Ask that again. We're gonna have to edit.
Oh, so but I did get a success on trying to figure out how to open it. Do I have any idea?
You're going to have to short this thing out, which means that at some point in time, you're going to have to trigger a full powered cycle shock to remove it.
Dewey. Yeah, Dewey.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you this. You're going to have a shocking experience to get this thing off.
Again?
More, I think, than what this was.
Well, if it gets it off.
We'll get it off. But I don't think we should get it. I think if we get it off, it's not going back on, and I don't think we should tip our hand.
Jack kind of chimes in. He goes, well, you got this binder clip, and I got a couple other. We can try and get a couple other things. Maybe if we can come up with a battery of some sort, we can jump some power to it that will cycle the charge and pop it open. Would that work?
It's possible, or we could short across it. Possible.
I mean, you're talking about one of the bypass capacitors. It should just. If you interrupt the power flow, the magnet dies, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
So what do we need to do that? Because all I got is this and a card. What else do I have to get beat up for?
Probably a stun baton.
I think they're going to notice a stun baton gone.
If they don't notice the card gone.
Perhaps binder clips could. Perhaps we could cycle a
could
charge
charge.
through them
Yeah.
and use that current connected with your paperclip. Which, do we even know what paper is? I don't know.
Is paper in Star Wars? No. There's some backwater planets. I'm sure there's paper.
We read about paper somewhere, not on paper.
Anyway, binder
So-
cuffs. That's where I would start.
I can try. I mean, I'll see what I can do, but I don't know if I can hide binder cuffs getting back in here. I mean, those things are not that small.
And maybe we when we get ready to make our break, we do this.
Well, do we really want to be carrying an Ithorian around that's just been stunned?
I'm not carrying.
I mean, I don't know what else to say here. I mean, we you know what? We know what we got to do. Let's see what we can come up with and see what happens. I mean, if it's got to wait until we make a break, then wait until we make a break.
I just want this off my neck.
I mean, because let's
We
just
do
face
too.
it.
You're going to be the singer in our band.
Let's just face it. If we do make a break for it, right now he's the only one that can help us. If somebody gets in our way. I mean, I don't know about you, but I take a beat down every time I start messing with these guys.
I've never seen. I've heard of the stories, but I've never seen. Can you really do something?
It's pretty loud. It's pretty loud, quite booming, but with this on, I cannot at all.
But it would also alert everybody in here.
Everyone. We have to use it wisely.
It can't be time to break out yet.
No. We gotta wait for Mr. Shill, I think.
Well, I think he's in the cell block, and I think that card can get us into his cell.
This card could get us moving, and I think he could get us. We could lure a guard in, and then have him jumping. We could let him out, lure the guard
I
into our
just do
cell.
not think it's going to be that simple to break out of what I'm imagining is the strongest prison on Coruscant for war criminals.
We've got teenagers. We're just teenagers.
We are just teenagers. If you don't think that they think we're a threat, then why do you think they surrounded our cell block with stormtroopers? They're not
idiots.
even prison guards. They're stormtroopers. They're Imperial Navy.
If they think I'm a threat, they're idiots.
Or they're not because you're trying to break out of their damn prison.
No, they're idiots for locking me up when there are other people they could have locked up. I'm not a threat.
See what the taxpayer dollars are going to.
Exactly. To lock up a teenager.
This argument goes on for a while, a little bit into the night, and you kind of hear from, down the hallway a little bit ways. Shut up in there! You're gonna get us in trouble! I don't need a damn guard coming in here stomping on me again.
Are
You don't recognize the voice.
Are you very small?
No reply.
Okay. That's what I thought. I go to sleep. I roll over, just kind of in a huff, mid-conversation.
The night continues to go on without any type of incident. And then the next morning, the
And
lights...
then owl bears. Oh, wait.
The light...
Different kind of camp.
Yeah, right? A druid is standing in the corner. He takes the
He
shape
turns
of
into a
Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yeah. So the lights the next morning come up and they brighten up back into the prison, and you can kind of look across and you see one or two guards that are on that center spire just walking back and forth on your level. And then a short time later, the two guards dressed in all black step back to the door.
Not Doug.
But they don't even open the door this time, say, "You there, Twi'lek. You know the drill."
I do.
The door slides open and they toss you the binder cuffs.
I put them on.
We got binder cuffs.
Success.
All we had to do was ask. Come on. Thank you, Mom. Excuse me. Our lead singer wants to have a word with you.
I put them on and walk out.
You put them on and walk out the door, and the door slides behind you. And the moment you walk out that door, the guard checks them real quick, make sure they're actually really secured, and then turns and points you back towards the turbo lifts. Start walking.
I do.
You head back.
Do they follow me?
Oh yes, they're like directly
Okay.
in tow. You come back to that familiar office that you were in earlier, and the door slides open. Immediately as you're standing there at the door, nobody has touched anything, and the binders fall off your hands. Before your eyes can adjust to the dark, and you start to become more familiar with the layout of his office, Antinous is standing right next to that table. He's facing you, But there's another individual in that room. And you see blue lacquer draped down the back of the person he's talking to. And it's a female form.
Blue lacquer.
Twi'lek lacquer. The headstocks. There's only a few races in the entire galaxy that have lacquer.
Mr. Tremaine. Do I recognize the blue?
It does seem very familiar to you.
Mr. Tremaine.
Yes.
It's good to see you again. Thank you for making my stay more pleasant.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. And he waves you forward towards the table.
I walk forward.
And as you move forward towards the table, you see a slightly older female Twi'lek. And as you start to come around the side, you have this moment where it just clicks. This is your mother.
Okay.
And as you start to turn around the corner where you can kind of see her, she's sitting at that table and you can see her. She's breathing really heavily, almost like she's got some labored breath. She's not turning to face you. And Tenna's face is just stoic. It's almost void of anything like what you saw when you were holding the crystal. Aaron, I believe you know who this is.
I am familiar.
I believe you're more than familiar. Now let's get to why she's our guest currently. She's been telling us of your family's involvement in the museum, and not that you were there for the riots. So that means you're a loyal citizen of the Empire, correct?
I would consider myself as such, yes.
He kind of smiles. Good. So then, you would be willing to participate in an experiment?
Of course. Anything that assists the Empire and expedites my exit from this place.
I'm glad to hear that. I am very pleased, and this time he does have a smile that kind of comes across his face. And as you take a couple steps closer, and you turn the corner and you can see your mom, you can see her face. It's bruised and swollen. You can see tears running down her face. Just obvious pain that she's been in. And her eyes kind of look over towards you and lock on yours. And you can see that just the pain almost softens, but the tears pick up. And Tennis steps forward and says, I have a few more tests I would like to do with your mother here. Are you okay with that?
Of course, again, anything to help the Empire. And expedite my exit here.
He goes, last time we left, you were staring at a crystal very intently.
I remember it.
Do you have this?
Of course I do. I reached into my pocket. Do I still have it?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Nope, Jack's got it.
And that's what I know what I was waiting for. Yeah, I pull that out and I say, here.
No, this is not for me. This was a gift for you, remember? Now, take a seat.
I do.
Stare back into this. I would like to see if we can repeat yesterday's experiment.
Okay.
I need a hard discipline check. Red 1. Upgraded once.
I'll upgrade as well. I got an advantage.
you're focusing on this, and you're trying, and you keep hearing these kind of subtle sniffles from your mom crying, and it's like you can't just focus enough to be able to look back at this crystal. Your attention keeps getting pulled in different directions.
Mr. Tremaine, I am distracted today. I did not sleep well in my cell. My cellmates were obnoxious, to say the least. And
he's a little bit more, and you can see he's a little bit more annoyed.
perhaps
Well, what kind of motivation do you require? How can I help you to focus?
this is a good question. You have removed my restraints. I have no excuse for my lack of focus. Perhaps if my mother was given a glass of water, she would cease her sobbing. I'm sure she is just concerned for her child being in prison.
So you think of others before yourself.
Oh no, trust me, I am thinking of myself. It is the whimpering that is pulling my attention away from this task.
Oh, so I can just remove the whimpering.
If she is allowed to leave the room, then sure.
Oh, of course she's allowed to leave the room. And he hits a button on the table. Door slides open. Guards are standing there. And a gentleman walks in. This one in a full gray uniform with rank. And you can see that he does have an insignia that would carry a significant rank.
Okay.
You don't know what it is. You're not familiar with the Imperial ranks, per se. Unless you would like to try and roll the military check. And Tinnis looks up and goes, Commander Kaw. Welcome.
I do tense up a little bit at that.
Is he being obnoxious?
Not yet.
No.
We'll find out.
You, I don't think I have a need for this prisoner anymore. I think you can take her back to the ISB office. And Commander Kaw walks up, looks back over at Antinous. Sir, in the future, please ask for permission to remove one of the people we are interrogating. And at that, he slaps some binder cuffs on her and starts dragging her towards the door.
I want to feign shock.
Would you like to try a deception check?
Not
And who are you trying to
particularly.
feign it against?
I want to, because I've been portraying this persona of like I'm very Empire positive, and like just to portray like why would she be being interrogated, but like without saying that, just kind of like at the thought of her being interrogated by the ISB, I'm like, really?
Okay, so your general demeanor is the questioning,
Just
like,
kinda,
why do you want my mom kind of
Just
demeanor,
like-
right?
okay, well, I'm sure she'll give you whatever you want.
And Tinnis kind of stands there and looks back and forth between you and watching your mom being drug out.
I don't really watch her. I just kind of stare at the table and look at the crystal like, why are you not working? Help.
So Antinous kind of leans down and leans closer to you and goes, So, Aaron, what if you had the ability to, I don't know, stop this from happening? What would you do? What would you give?
To stop what from happening?
Well,
A traitor being interrogated?
oh, so you admit your mother's a traitor.
I don't know, but there's a chance She is Rylothian.
Well, aren't you?
The government of the Empire has given me everything I have. They may hold some grudge from the wars on Ryloth, but I have only felt the warmth of the Empire.
Okay, I am making you do a discipline check. Or
No, but my character means that.
No, this is still a deception. This is a pretty hefty deception here.
I would think more charm than deception.
No, because you're lying.
Not really.
You can argue with me all you want.
Okay, what's the difficulty?
All right, this is going to be a 2 red hard check,
Okay,
and I am upgrading this one.
so to 3 red.
Yep.
Good night. I'll upgrade back. Let's see what we got. I failed, but I did get a triumph.
Ooh.
Triumph.
A triumph from a deception, although it is a failed deception.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's not going. So his demeanor is almost condescending when he's looking at you as a, I don't buy it, but good try. And he looks over at Commander Call and says, wait, before you leave. And looks back at you. How would you like to spend how do you think your triumph should go on a deception check that failed? What do you think should happen here?
I want that to fuel a level of frustration against him that's going to give me a free upgrade on my next check.
Okay.
So
you're going to take it mechanically as an upgrade then?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. All right.
Essentially, so basically, in I guess narrative sense, it's sort of like in this deception, my goal is to make him think I'm more Empire adjacent than you want me to be.
Fair enough.
And so even though I am deceiving and the accusation of her being a traitor and those kind of things, that the triumph is that he believes, because I do have an advantage too, that he believes that I'm sympathetic to the Empire.
See, but that would account for a success.
Sort of, but what and that's why I wanted it to be a charm check and not deception, because it's now unclear as to what I was even deceiving about.
Well, you were deceiving about the fact that you are truly an Empire's.
No, but that's how I'm playing the character. That's how I am genuinely trying to get into a uniform, is what I want to do.
But
so that's why I'm being willing with the cuffs, and I'm being willing and compliant.
Right, but
with
at the end of the
everything
day, you're not being part of the Empire. You're using it as a tool to try and get your freedom.
Maybe.
See, that's where the deception comes in. I don't want to go circling back and forth on this.
I guess.
But all right, so let's get back into the.
So then, what could the triumph be then? Narratively, mechanically, I want it to be an upgrade. But.
Okay. Well, narratively, I could offer the solution that he doesn't have her hauled off by ISB.
Or perhaps that he sees that is duplicitous.
That he can get a rise out of you from her.
I suppose. That doesn't feel deceptive or triumphant, but okay.
Well, I mean,
it depends on how much you care about your mom, I guess.
Well, I already killed his dad.
I know.
I'm trying to offer you a way not to kill your mom. So, which way would you like to have that play out? I'm going to give you an option. I'm going to give you a choice.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the triumph, I want something to change about the situation.
Well, if your mom stays, that would change that aspect of it.
Well, right.
For the moment, you don't know what will happen down the road.
Yeah, I just don't know that her staying is what I
And
want.
what I was going to say, another possibility is that he obviously thinks he can use you, but that the triumph gives him, basically, he trusts you a little more, even though you're lying to him. You failed the lying. He saw that you were lying, but the way you did it and something he sees in you
that's kind of what I'm
causes him
thinking.
to think, oh, I can trust,
Yeah.
maybe give him a little more trust in you that will come into play
Yeah, I
at
think
a
maybe
different
that's
spot.
it. That's
All right, that sounds fair.
I think the triumph is that he catches on to, even though he caught the deception, he catches on to how good the deception was.
All right, I'll let it slide. We can roll with that. We'll just,
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
for narrative.
A normal person would have been.
I'm gonna pop
would have
that
been
in.
fooled.
All right.
So at that moment, Antinous looks back over and looks up at Kaw. Commander Kaw, please take her down to the detention holding cell on the first floor. We'll be down to have further discussions with her. This young man and I have some conversation to be held right now. Commander Kaw turns around and looks at him. Sir, I have to tell you this is an ISB prisoner and I am ordered to take her back. And it's about that moment that you see Kaw's hand just kind of reach up and say, she will be staying. And Kaw gets this look on his face as if, yes, sir. I'll be taking her down to the holding cell. And he turns and walks out, escorting your mother. The rest of the scene, you're spending time interacting back and forth with Antinous, and he's trying to get you to get this crystal to light back up, to take you back into another vision, and you're struggling mightily. Your mind keeps focusing in and out of different areas. And at the end, he dials up on the intercom, and the guards come in to come take you back to your desk, or take you back to your cell. And he goes, "Hey, Aaron. We both know that you were not truthful earlier. I admire your ability to read the situation. I'm going to have to tell you that in the future, you need to channel that passion. Fuel it. And it'll take you back to where you were when you were holding this crystal the first time."
I was at your desk in a calm environment. That is where I was, and
After having been arrested and not knowing a single thing that was taking place. And your mother, for that matter, may have been killed. You cannot tell me you were not angry or distraught about any of this.
there was some.
Because right now you seem more calm.
Mr. Tremaine, I think that even when I was under duress, I appeared to you as calm.
You may appear on the outside as calm. But I know better. And that is where we're going to end.
Oh.